In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to improve on keyboard and mouse in just 1 week in Fortnite. Let's hop right into it. First up, we're going to dropship and make money online and getting rich. So for real, getting right into the video, I'm going to be covering the best keybinds for beginners who are just making the switch to keyboard and mouse. As I'm sure you're aware, keybinds are the scariest part of transitioning because there are so many different buttons to press, and finding the perfect ones that suit you is incredibly difficult. So that's why I'm going to show you my beginner keybinds that I use after switching to keyboard and mouse after over 8 years of using a controller in every game I played. But just before we get into the keybinds, though, I cannot stress this enough. A mouse button with side mouse buttons is absolutely crucial to make your transition as easy as possible. Without the side mouse button, the game is going to be a whole lot harder for you. So make it a bit easier on yourself and pick up a cheap $20 to $30 mouse with the side mouse button. I'll link some down below. I recommend for beginner players. The first keybind we'll be changing is our crouch keybind. You want to have this set to control. For those of you that have short pinky that aren't comfortable hitting control on your keyboard, but you use control if you are comfortable with having your pinky reach that far down in your keyboard. And then for our use keybind, I had to set it to scroll wheel down as a beginner because I found it much easier to pick up items. I didn't need to remember which key on my keyboard I had to press to pick up a weapon. I just used my scroll wheel down and it just picked up the weapons. It was very easy for me to remember. Then for the pickaxe bind, I always use my tab as my pickaxe bind. I always find it incredible, accessible, and super easy to remember for beginner players. As for my weapon keybinds, I just use 1 through 5 on my keyboard to get through my inventory. They're easy to reach and very simple to remember. And now for the arguable, the most important keybinds, building keybinds. And as a beginner, you want something really easy to remember because for a lot of you watching, including myself, I had never using a keyboard for anything other than Agario or Snake.io. So you want to make this part as easy on yourself as possible. So set your floor to Q, set your cone to E, or this optional to put it into left shift the cone. Mouse button 2, set that to your ramp, and then set your back mouse button to your wall, and then set your building edit to F. And then right beside your building edit bind, click that second box and then scroll wheel up, and then go down to reset building edit, click on the first box and then scroll wheel up again. Doing so just enable scroll wheel reset, and it's just if you don't want to die resetting a wall. It resets your binds instantly and you should be using it. These in my opinion are the most comfortable keybind you can use as a beginner progressing on keyboard and mouse because they are all close together and very easy to remember. So don't get overwhelmed. Now just remember, these are beginner keybinds. These can be changed later when you're more used to the layout of your keyboard. These keybinds worked for me coming from a controller for over 8 years, not knowing a single thing of what I was doing. So these should work for you as well. And here are my settings now, what I use at the moment. I use 60% keyword, which I'm going to cover about that in a few moments. I use ESDF as my movement instead of standard WASD because on my 60% keyboard I always accidentally press escape. My keybind 1 is next to my escape, which opens my menu during games, and I get salty when that happens. The next thing we'll be talking about is what keyboard you should be using as a beginner. There's billions of keyboards on the market, tons of different switches and qualities. Should you use a membrane or mechanical keyboard? Well, let's break this down simply for you. For starters, you should definitely be using a mechanical keyboard without question. This will be the best option for every one of you that is watching. It's gonna make your experience using a keyboard mouse much enjoyable. Which option to yourself is the best? Once we figure that out, we just need the actual keyboard. There are 60% keyboards, TKLs, which are the full-size keyboards but you chop off the number pad, and there are full-size keyboard which have all the bells and whistles and you aren't missing anything. Now this part is up to you and the environment you're working with. If you have the small mouse pad, which is a section we're going to cover later in this video, I recommend a 60% keyboard because it's small and compact and it doesn't take up too much space, leaving it with plenty of mouse room. Then we have the TKL keyboards. These keyboards are slightly bigger than the 60% keyboard, but still give you plenty of mouse room to work with. And then we have the full-size keyboards. Now these things is giant. It takes up so much space on your mousepad and doesn't leave me with that much mouse room, even though I'm using a full-length desk mousepad. So I personally don't recommend these for Fortnite, but if that's what you like to use, that's okay as well. Now that I've shown you the different keyboard sizes and how they look on a mousepad, you can go ahead and formulate a decision for yourself, and then we can move on the final part, actually picking a keyboard for you. For my 60% keyboard boys out there, I recommend the GK61. You can get this keyboard in either linear, tactile, or optical, or clicky switches. So feel free to check out the Amazon link below if you'd like to pick up this keyboard for yourself. But for those of you who want a good TKL keyboard, I recommend the Razer BlackWidow V3. Unfortunately though, this keyboard only comes in either green switches, which are clicky, or yellow switches, which are linear. And now for those of you who want a full-size keyboard, I recommend the RK918, which come in either red, brown, or blue switches. This ticks off all the boxes of linear, tactical, and clicky switches. I'll leave all the links down below for the keywords for you to check out, and also all links are affiliated, which means if you purchase from that specific link, I will get a small cut percentage of that purchase, which means I'll be able to improve my content and upload more for you guys. Now that we have gone in depth about which keyboard to get, which mouse should you get, well, that's going to be entirely dependent on a couple factors. I'll be sure to keep this section a lot shorter than the last one. The first thing you want to do is to take note of your grip style. There's fingertip grip, which is where you have to choose your fingertips to rest it on the triggers of the mouse while your palm is raised slightly above the mouse. For this grip style, I recommend the Logitech G Pro's mouse. This mouse is relatively cheap, and for me, Logitech mice have always been pretty reliable over the years. Then we have the palm grip style. This grip style is when you have your entire palm and fingers rested on the mouse. For those grip style, I recommend the HyperX Pulsefire Surge. For our last grip style, we have the claw grip. This is essential for a hybrid of previous two grip styles, where you have your fingers make a claw shape on the triggers of the mouse, while your palm rests on the base of the mouse. For this grip style, I recommend the glorious Model O. All links to the mice I just recommend will be linked down below if you'd like to check them out for yourself. Now, for the thing that goes under everything, the mousepad. Now this might be a bit overlooked than you think. You can just get any mousepad, sure, if you want to never be able to use your wrist again in 20 years. Steer clear of these mousepads. These are not for game, and tons of people have them. So even if you're the last resort, do not use this mousepad. Get extended mousepad, which can hold both of your keyboard and mouse, and you'll be a happy skanky camper. Just kidding. Your wrist is going to thank you when you get older, trust me. I'll leave some inexpensive extended mouse pads down below. No matter how challenging keyboard it now seems, I believe in you and you got this. Give it an honest shot and don't just quit after a few days. Really give it your best effort, because I'm telling you guys, making the switch keyboard and mouse will be the one decision you know you won't regret. And if you want to be the people who do stuff instead of talking, then get out there, no matter how challenging it is for you right now.